Your Highnesses, Excellencies, athletes, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I know there's a lot of excitement after the awards, but I have the distinct pleasure of speaking not only to one of our awardees, to an incredible athlete, incredible soldier, and leader here with us on stage. And the title of our session is Leading from the Front, Discipline of a World Champion and Vision of a Prince. So we'll get on with our conversation, Your Highness, but first I want to say just a couple of words in Arabic since we are here in Dubai. السلام عليكم شكرا لحضوركم ونشكركم على هذه الفرصة أن نتكلم مع سمو الشيخ ناصر بن حمد آل خليفة. لدينا حديث مهم عن القيادة، الرؤية، ولكن أيضا التحديات فيما يخص القيادة والرياضة. So I will switch back to English for our guests. Your Highness, you have become a champion for world endurance, an incredible athlete, but also a leader and motivating athletes, not only in Bahrain, but in the wider Arab world, and I would say in the world when they look at endurance sports. And endurance riding, Ironman, all of these sports require a stamina, not only physical, but importantly, a mental stamina. And so when you make decisions, decision-making, when it comes to these endurance sports, how do you make those decisions, and how has it affected your growth as an athlete, but also as a leader?
Thank you very much. في البداية, Your Highnesses, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Before that, I would like to sincerely point out how humbled I am, how honored I am to be an award recipient. And I would like to thank His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, His Highness Sheikh Hamdan, His Highness Sheikh Ahmed, His Highness Sheikh Mansour for this opportunity. Back to all of the above mentioned, let me start with leadership. Leadership is key in all of this. And I would like to attract the audience's attention in here that if you pretend knowing everything, then this is not leadership. Leadership actually is summed up in 4 powerful words. I don't know yet. If we break down these words, and let me ask you a question about these 4 key words. How many of the historic breakthroughs in our time have started with, I don't know yet? All of them. All of these historic breakthroughs started with, I don't know yet. So if we leave here, if we leave this summit, pretending we know everything, or we have understood everything, then we have failed. I would rather have you leave this hall with a curiosity, with a little bit of questions, and also the courage of having and admitting uncertainty. If we have done that, then I can guarantee that we have built leadership and we have moved it forward. So let me focus on leadership, which is key. And with this word, I would define it with one simple word, which is discipline. Discipline sums up everything. Makes you a champion, makes you unique, makes you outstanding, and makes you move out and detach from the pack. Or else, you're gonna be just an ordinary person. So you should have a mindset of, am I even a human? If you start your day asking yourself that question, then I guarantee you, you are one of those special 8 billion people in planet Earth. So with discipline that you have to not say it or order it or seek for it, but by proving it, leading from the front. And you can never ask a team, a nation, or a generation to perform leadership if you cannot prove it yourself. And you mentioned endurance. Yes, I agree. I don't know why I keep choosing these ridiculous long sports. I do horse endurance riding, which is average of 12, 13 hours, and I do Ironmans, which is, in my case, let's say average 9 hours. But then the real character building comes in the 10th hour. It doesn't come in the starting line. It doesn't come post-race or crossing the finish line. It is actually when deep fatigue hits you hard and you hit a wall. And this is where your attitude needs to kick in, and you need to take decisions. Here where most of people break, because a lot of people take decisions in temporary pain. And that decision stays forever. But pain is temporary. It's like victory lasts forever, but pain is temporary. So there's a lot of effects on mindset and how people think. And when do you decide? Because in my experience as well in the military life, I've experienced that our training was done by design. They will only ask you when you are at your worst. And sports is the same, and life is the same. These decisions needs to be taken with not our hearts, but with our minds, and disengaging your mind and heart and body, and making sure that whatever you take, you should consider the outcomes of it. So this is what's important, the attitude and the discipline and the self-proof that you prove to people that I can do it. This is what I do with my institutions, the organizations that I lead back home. Either it was in the political, in the security, in the military, or the sports. I perform the same way towards my colleagues and make sure that if I lead by example, I would never ask people to do something if I'm not willing to bleed for it or to show that I can do it as well.
And I think that inspiration, we've seen you time and again, not only win and a world champion for endurance, but also take those moments when you didn't win, but say, we're going to come back stronger. And I love what you said about the decision-making. When do you make the decision? Because sometimes when you're under the greatest strain, physically and mentally, is when you have to make that all-important decision. Now, part of that stamina and inspiration came before the Paris Olympics. You challenged your athletes in Bahrain and said, gold or nothing. We're going to go big or go home. And he did go big. MashaAllah, Bahrain doubled its tally of Olympic medals, 4 medals at the Paris Olympics, and previous to that had 4. So tell me about that moment of thinking, preparing for Paris, but also making sure that Bahrain was able to meet your expectations and the country's expectations.
Well, let me tell you, by the slogan we chose, gold only, is not arrogance. This is just to clarify things. Because I'm a believer that silver, bronze medal, 4th, 5th place, all of it is an outcome. But gold is a mindset. And I wanted to build that deep inside my athletes' hearts and minds, that we only accept gold. And this way, we engineer their thinking, their day-to-day training, and their preparation physically and mentally for that event. It have given us a lot of positive outcomes. Bahrain we have doubled up our medal counts. We are the #1 Arab nation in the Olympics, if we see it that way. But again, we have doubled our gold medals at the Olympics, and as well as our preparation in the next coming events. But again, this is too technical. what we have gained from that, if you want to ask me, what have you gained from that slogan? Have you made your athletes tired or whatever? It's not that the case. It's the questions that the athletes have been asking us have changed. And the athletes stopped asking what's in it for us. They started asking us this, what else can we do? So we saw motivation, and we saw a change of attitude in two ways. Either they won, they want to win more, and if they lost, they want to continue pushing forward to win. So it is a change of mindset that we have played well, and making sure that it stays in the back of the head that we only are goal seekers.
Your Highness, you said the idea that it is mindset to strive for gold. And there was this term in Arabic, gadha. Gadha is you're able to. You are capable. And so building that confidence at a time of uncertainty is important not only for athletes, but as His Excellency Khalfan Balhol said at the opening of this amazing event, he said this is about intergenerational. This is about thinking how we inspire everybody, communities, but especially young people. And of course, among your responsibilities and duties are thinking about the youth of Bahrain and thinking how young people are influenced. At a time, you've also spoken about a comfort crisis. You don't want people to be comfortable and not be motivated. What's your message, perhaps, to a young person that's not interested in sports? How do you motivate them? How do you get them in? And how do you use the sporting prowess at a time when many people are probably sitting behind the screen?
Well, I'm happy you mentioned that, because my son's here and my nephews are here watching me speak. And actually, we go through a global crisis of comfort. And that generation is hooked behind screens. If you go back to our generations, and if you remember back in the time when you go to school, it looks like a rehab center. Everyone is in a cast. At least one is with a cast. Which means that we have been spending a lot of time outdoors, experiencing and also having adventures outdoors. Now, I always say that I'm a father of 5, and I'm a proud father of those 5. But if you are, thank you. If you parents, this is an advice. If you want to ground your kids, and my kids are listening to this, lock them outside the house, not inside this time. It's different. So you mentioned the word gedha. I don't know if you have seen the TV show that we have produced. It's out in a Shahid platform. It is a military experience for civilians, CEOs, bankers, students, whoever wants to sign up and to join this TV show. Is a fascinating way to put people through agony and live in the military life, to experience the soldier's life. And the outcomes were 2 things. First of all, to gain the appreciation of the civilians towards their soldiers, whom are serving day and night in their countries and abroad, maintaining peace and also risking their lives. Why do they do that? Because they don't want others to do that. They are the ones who are willing to do it and volunteer to put their lives at risk to make sure they maintain stability and peace. But again, we have done it in a way where we build hardship. We make sure we introduce hardship, either physically through those participants or our programs that we are building back in my home, or also through a viewership that people can appreciate through hardship. There's a lot of lessons learned. And at the end of the day, we are not building, or we are not beasting bodies. This is a military word, beasting. We are actually building and engineering a mindset. You know that cycle, right? Good times produce weak people. weak people produce hard times produce strong people, and so on. And that cycle we live in, we liked it or not. And we want to maintain that formula where we have to think out of the box. How can we live so much in great times as long as possible with strong people? This is the nearly impossible formula that we need to continue to serve. So it is all about the mindset. It is all about the hardship that a person has to go through, and also to engineer yourself and ask yourself a lot of questions. How can I face these challenges and turn these problems into opportunities?
And to your point about discipline, to maintain discipline when you are comfortable, it's very difficult because it's easy to forget that, God forbid, la samah Allah, the hard times do come round one way or the other. So to be prepared for that.
Absolutely.
I want to shift gears because Bahrain, incredibly, over 2 decades ago, brought Formula One to the Gulf, and we've just enjoyed a beautiful Formula One finale in Abu Dhabi. And congratulations to the winners and to McLaren, Mumtalakat. And so, you know, Bahrain went from not only being a host to being a hub. So I want to talk about motorsports because that is also an investment. So making those decisions in investing in motorsports, Bahrain's also invested in cycling, Team Victorious, very important. How do you make these decisions and the investment mindset that comes with these sorts of sports?
Wonderful. First of all, you're speaking to a horseman who deals with 1 horsepower. Okay, just let me refer to my elder brother, His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad. He is our champion behind all of that achievement in the Formula One sector. And congratulations to him and the team from Formula One by creating Bahrain as a motorsport hub. We started Formula One in 2004, and shows you clearly with patience and strategy. Now we are holding on to something, holding on to a jewel that is really making Bahrain recognizable. You mentioned the word victorious. Victorious is a chain of teams that I have created with my team in terms of endurance, in cycling, in horse equestrian sports, in football, and in many different entities. And Victorious is not just a team, it's a identity that I'm building. Let me tell you an interesting story, especially that my friend here, Naaser Al-Khalifi, is between us here, representing Paris Saint-Germain. He might be targeted now with the words I say, but I need to be careful because who can face Paris Saint-Germain these days? I'm associated with Paris FC, and when they were way out of league and they were low performers, we jumped into that football club and we started building up with the team over there and the board over there. How can we change that team's mindset? And if you look at their jersey today, they have Victorious on their jerseys. A lot of pessimistic people told me, well, this is a big ask. You know, we are underperforming, we are in a second league, and you put Victorious in our shirts, and we've been losing or having a lot of draws. I don't think it gives the right impact. Where are we today? We are in the first league. And that football team got promoted and are performing well. I'm happy with them. But again, if you go and ask them what happened, yes, a lot of work happened. But again, the identity of the responsibility of carrying the word Victorious on their jerseys, entering the football pitch, changed their mindset again. And they want to be accountable for that. So having a team is not just us seeking for gold medals, but it is for seeing my country's flag up on podiums worldwide, globally, and shows you that we are, I don't say we are a small country, we are in a manageable size country, if I want to be clear. makes me proud, makes me refer back to our national identity, which we refer to ourselves. We are made of gold. So it all comes together that we have a strategy, we punch way above our weight, and show the world that, you know, a small country produces something so much big at a world level, and we can perform, we can be in par with countries much larger than us, and really paid off with my team that how can we generate something that we have and boost it up with just small touches.
And that's the beauty of sport.
Absolutely.
The potential. And one of the slogans of here in the UAE, in Dubai, is there is no impossible. And so it's incredible to see that the mindset, the investment, the discipline that you speak of can get you to levels you would never imagine. And that's the potential and beauty of sport. And again, sportsmanship. So you can be speaking about Paris Saint-Germain, wish them luck, but also compete on the field. And that's the beauty of sport, having that sportsmanship that we want to teach a younger generation. Where unfortunately don't have too much time left, so I'm going to ask you a question that is, well, two questions. I'm a journalist. We always take more than just one question. So two questions before we close. I want to ask you what comes next for Bahrain when you think about Bahrain's goals and what you want to focus on when it comes to sports, but also for you personally as an athlete. What's next?
For Bahrain, we always seek for more, for the better. We never look back. We always look forward. And we will always be performing at our best, and we will be conquering a lot of podiums. That's for sure. For me, I am the same case. I'm a Bahrain's soldier. I'll be carrying the flag everywhere I go. I won the World Championship twice. I'm looking to win the World Championship a third time or maybe a fourth time, and looking forward to always perform at my best, regardless the result. Like my colleagues here and I mean, fantastic athletes from around the world. They always do the same. It doesn't matter if you win or lose. It's how do you perform. So we will be pushing as hard as I can. But again, let me answer a question with a question. And this might not go to you, but to the audience themselves. And I don't want you to answer this out loud, but how many of you have actually decided something while going through hardship or going through, thank you for the raise of hand over there.
Well, let's see a show of hands.
So, yeah. I'm pretty sure everyone here has done the same. And I'm sure that so many of us, we like it or not, have regretted that decision, because when you are in deep fatigue, your mind takes over, and this is where you give up or take wrong decisions. So again, I would like to repeat this. Decisions are always last-longing. Do not take them in a temporary position or in a situation that you are in real pain. This is what makes a gold medalist different than any other person. When you have 100 or 1,000 or 1,000,000 people start a marathon run, there is always one winner. It's not about the number of people, but that one winner went through the same pain, the same journey as everyone else. But what differs a champion, a winner, a leader from others is the one who blocks the noise and just goes forward.
And for your personal goal, you said you'd like to win, inshallah,
Yes.
one or more world championship for endurance. We earlier heard from Novak Djokovic on the idea of longevity. Athletes always have to think about longevity. So do you spend much time thinking about longevity?
I started to become a biohacker myself. So I'm a health freak. I start my days with my cold plunges and a lot of sports and a lot of recovery. But again, if you want to take my piece of advice, there's a lot of gadgets, there's a lot of supplements, there's a lot of influencers, now you see them in social media. Everyone is talking about that new trend of longevity. Everyone is building hotels and resorts related to longevity and whatever it is. Go back to basics, go back to roots. Because in the old days, actually, our living is uncomfortable. When you had to move from one place to another, is uncomfortable. So be uncomfortable, get out of your comfort zone, and the key thing is sleep. Just make sure you sleep well. You go deep and sleep well, and then things fall in line. Anything else is just an addition. So this is the cheapest thing I can offer you today.
Great advice. Take care of the asset, and you are the asset. Thank you so much, Your Highness. We got much learning from you. Thank you so much. شرفنا. شكرا جزيلا. ممنون. الله يحفظك.